Good morning. Happy Friday. I was reading in Second Chronicles 35 and 36, and I came across something and I just wanted to read to you. It kind of reminds me of what's going on nowadays. People get frustrated because things aren't going their way, or they get frustrated because they haven't heard from God. They don't understand why the world is the way the world is. But if you listen to this, you might see kind of a parallel on how people are acting now and how, of course, they acted in the Bible. It hasn't changed. Over a million years, people are still people. So it would be in 2 Chronicles 36 and 15. It says, "And the Lord of their fathers sent warnings to them by his messengers, rising up early and sending them, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place," which is the temple, the church that he had made, and Israel, because those are his people. "But they mocked the messengers of God, despised his words, and scoffed at his prophets, until the wrath of God arose against his people, until there was no remedy." So how much, our Father gives us a lot of opportunities. He understands that we have went through things, and our heart is going to be wary, and our heart is going to be hardened on some things. And some things are supposed to be hardened on so that, we can be stronger on certain things. But when God sends you signs, and he sends people signs all the time, in a dream, he sends people to you. The Bible itself is our warning. It talks about these people and the things that they've done. He provided those things so that we could live better, so that we could try to live a righteous life, so that we could understand him and understand the punishments. I mean, when you're a kid, your parents tell you, if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. There is a mighty backlash of this, because they not only, God sent the warning to tell them to stop, just stop, and they mocked the words of the prophets, they mocked the words of the messengers. So here's the finalization, if you want to say. "Therefore he brought against them the king of the Chaldeans." A lot of times he'll send somebody for your punishment. Who killed their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary. So not only did he allow them to be killed, but he didn't care that they were killed in the temple. Usually they do that outside. They won't do it inside the walls. "And had no compassion on young men, or virgin, or aged, or of the weak. He gave them all into his hand, and all the articles of the house of God, great and small, the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king and of his leaders, all these he took to Babylon. Then they burned the house of God, broke down the walls of Jerusalem, burned all its palaces with fire, and destroyed all its precious possessions. And those who escaped from the sword he carried away to Babylon, where they became servants to him and his sons until the rule of the king of Persia, to fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had enjoyed their Sabbaths. As long as they lay desolate, he kept Sabbath to fulfill 70 years. You don't want to listen? You're going to have years of punishment. I don't know. I just found that interesting that, we're living in the world that we're living in, and we see so much chaos and mess up, and, and ourselves, we do this over and over again. So I don't know. So that was 2 Chronicles 36, 15 through 21. I just wanted to share that with you all. It was a kind of an eye-opening situation to read that, be like, oh, there is a means to an end.